Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. She told me she slept with my friend. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I didn't even ask why. We were sitting at the small kitchen table, the one we'd eaten 100 quiet dinners at before. Elizabeth kept her hands folded, eyes fixed on the wood grain, like it might save her. I remember thinking how calm she sounded, almost relieved when she said it. It was a mistake, she added quickly, like that would soften the blow. I nodded, not because I agreed, but because something inside me had already gone quiet. James, that's me, stood up and poured more coffee, even though my cup was full. It felt important to do something normal. We'd been together 8 years, long enough to know each other's routines, short enough to believe we were still choosing each other. I asked her when. She hesitated, then said last fall. I asked who else knew. She said no one. That was the first lie I noticed, and she knew it. My friend's name sat between us like a third chair. Mark. Someone I'd known since college. Someone who'd watched our dog, borrowed my tools, laughed at my wedding toast. Elizabeth said it just happened, that she felt lonely, that I'd been distant. I didn't argue. Distance can be measured in inches, betrayal in seconds. If this story already feels familiar, tap like so it reaches the people who need to hear it. I thanked her for the honesty. She looked up then, surprised. That word, honesty, landed heavy. It was the only thing she'd given me that night. I told her I needed air and stepped outside. The evening was cool, quiet, ordinary. Inside, our life was splitting down the middle. I walked for almost an hour, letting memories rise and fall. Trips, plans, the way she used to reach for my hand without thinking. Somewhere along the block, clarity settled in. This wasn't about anger. It was about seeing things as they were, not as I hoped. When I went back, Elizabeth was on the couch, phone glowing. She asked if we could fix it. I said I didn't know. That answer scared her more than shouting would have. I slept in the guest room, not to punish her, but because I needed space to think. The house felt different, like a place I was visiting. The next morning, she tried to talk, to explain feelings and timing. I listened. Listening is a skill you learn when you stop defending yourself. If you've ever been here, write truth in the comments and tell me what honesty cost you. I told her I needed a few days, not to decide our future, but to understand myself. She cried. I didn't stop her, didn't comfort her. Comfort would have been a promise I wasn't ready to make. That afternoon, I texted Mark one sentence. He replied fast, defensive, rehearsed. That told me everything I needed to know. By night, I'd made a list. Not demands, not ultimatums. Facts, trust broken. Lines crossed. Consequences unavoidable. Before this goes further, share this with someone who believes honesty should have weight. Elizabeth watched me write, silent now, realizing the calm wasn't forgiveness. It was preparation. She asked what I was going to do. I told her I'd show her something tomorrow. Not revenge, not cruelty, just the part of me she hadn't expected. That night, lying awake, I understood a hard truth. Honesty doesn't heal on its own. It just opens the door. What you do next decides everything. Comment below if you think honesty deserves consequences and say why. Tomorrow was coming, and Elizabeth had no idea what I planned to show her. I did, and for the first time since a confession, I felt steady, not cruel, not weak, just clear. The quiet between us wasn't empty anymore. It was waiting, loaded with meaning, ready to break open with one honest act that would change everything we thought we were. I closed my eyes, knowing the morning would force a reckoning neither of us could avoid. This was only the beginning, not the end yet, but the moment where silence stopped protecting anyone. Morning came without ceremony. No slammed doors, no raised voices. Elizabeth was already awake when I walked into the kitchen, sitting at the table with a mug she hadn't touched. She looked like someone waiting for a verdict. I told her to get her coat. She asked where we were going. I said she'd understand soon. The drive was quiet, the kind of quiet that presses on your chest. I didn't turn on the radio. I wanted the truth to have room. We parked outside Mark's apartment complex just after 9. Elizabeth's face drained of color the moment she recognized the place. I didn't enjoy that reaction. I noticed it, cataloged it, the same way I'd learned to catalog my own feelings instead of drowning in them. I told her this was what I meant by showing her something, not to humiliate her, to align reality with words. She said we didn't need to do this. I replied that honesty without context is just noise. We walked up together. I knocked. Mark opened the door, wearing a t-shirt I'd given him years ago. The surprise on his face collapsed into guilt in under a second. Elizabeth stepped back as if the floor had shifted. I introduced myself like we were strangers. I thanked him for confirming what I already knew. He tried to talk. I didn't let him. Closure doesn't require conversation. Back in the car, Elizabeth finally spoke. She said she hadn't known he lived there now. I said that wasn't the point. The point was that truth doesn't float in isolation. It lives in places, in people, in choices. Seeing it removes the last excuses. If you believe accountability matters more than apologies, type accountability in the comments and explain why. At home, I packed a bag. Not hers. Mine. That surprised her more than the confrontation. She asked if I was leaving her for good. I told her I was leaving the version of us that survived on denial. I said I'd file for separation the following week, not to punish, but to respect myself. She cried again, this time without words. I let her. Boundaries are not cruelty. I spent the next few days at my brother's place. I made calls. I documented timelines. I canceled shared subscriptions and separated finances cleanly, calmly, without spite. Each step was boring and necessary. People imagine strength as a single dramatic act. It's not. It's repetition. It's choosing clarity again and again when nostalgia tries to bargain. Elizabeth reached out, asked if we could talk, asked if therapy might help. I answered once. I said therapy is for two people rebuilding trust, not one person explaining why betrayal hurts. I wished her well. That was the last message I sent. The silence afterward wasn't empty. It was earned. Weeks later, I ran into Mark at a grocery store. He avoided my eyes. I felt nothing. That's how I knew I was done. Anger fades when self-respect shows up. If this story stirred something difficult but necessary, share it with someone navigating betrayal with dignity. Not everyone needs revenge. Some people need permission to walk away. The paperwork took time. The relief came faster. I slept better. I ate better. I noticed how much energy I'd spent managing uncertainty. Losing that weight felt like standing taller without trying. Elizabeth moved out. We divided things fairly. There were no courtroom theatrics, just endings handled by adults. Here's what I learned. Honesty is a starting line, not a finish. Gratitude for truth doesn't obligate you to absorb the damage. Thanking someone for honesty doesn't mean staying. It means refusing to lie to yourself. What would you have done differently, if anything? Leave a comment and start a real discussion. Respectful, honest, grounded in experience. People ask if I regret not fighting harder. I don't. Fighting is only noble when both people are holding the same values. Otherwise, it's just delaying the inevitable. I didn't walk away angry. I walked away clear. That clarity changed how I move through the world. I choose steadiness now. I choose peace that doesn't require compromise. If you're still here, it means it's mattered to you. Like the video, comment with your takeaway. And subscribe if you value stories that choose self-respect over spectacle. I didn't win anything by leaving. I stopped losing. And sometimes that's the most honest ending there is.